Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Eva. In today's video, we are going to be doing a review, demo, comparison, etc. of the new FARA HOMIDI bronzer and bronzer brush. So if you're interested in seeing how this bronzer performs and what I think about it as someone with fair skin, then go ahead and keep on watching. So at this point in time, the new FARA HOMIDI bronzer and bronzer brush are only on the FARA HOMIDI website. I will have the link to these products listed down below, but these are going to be launching at Sephora, I believe on June 23rd. I will put the correct date up on the screen and down below, and I will of course add the Sephora link once it is available. Now, the Essential Face Compact retails for $78 and it does come in 4 shades. The brush retails for $68 and it is a vegan brush that is designed to allow you to apply bronzer but also contour because of kind of that unique shape that it has. Let's talk a little bit more about the bronzer and its claims. The claims from the website are that this bronzer is an ultra smooth bronzing powder with a cream-like feel. Lumi Matte Soft Suede is a first of its kind, lightweight and lustrous bronzer with a soft matte finish that melts seamlessly into the complexion. FARA's Lumi Matte technology delivers a unique velvety touch and high creaminess, formulated to be used over any makeup or skincare base. Those are the claims. And then let's talk a little bit more about this shade because this is a very unique shade in my opinion. I picked up the lightest shade, Bois, and this is a beige tan with cool pink undertones. So this is a perfect bronzer for someone who is neutral or cool toned within the fair skin category. Something that I love about this bronzer and this undertone is, for me, someone with very fair neutral skin, when I apply it, it looks just like a real bronzer would actually look like on me because I'm so fair skinned, I tend to burn and not tan. And so when I apply this and when I look up close in the mirror, it looks a lot like a very natural tan, or at least the way that I personally tan, aka the way my skin turns a little bit red and doesn't really tan. So I really love that about this particular shade. Also, this formula is glowy without being shimmery. If you've been watching my channel lately, you know there's been a lot of shimmery products with highlighters, and this provides a beautiful lit from within glow without any visible shimmer. I'll go ahead and start inserting some clips of when I applied this product because I am wearing it right now. I applied it earlier so I can get a feel for the formula. You'll be able to see here just how easily this product blends out and dispenses onto the skin. I also love the way it applied with this brush. It was really easy to kind of manipulate the brush to apply the bronzer in the way I like to apply it. So sometimes bronzer brushes for me are far too wide and I get too much of the product on my cheeks, but this really did allow me to add it to where I naturally get a little bit of that tan or that sunburn. And then it also allowed me to kind of turn it on its side in order to blend. It also does lend itself to being a great sculpting brush as well because you can really get in there because of the way it is shaped. I'm still riding the high of trying the new Prada highlighters, and I have to say, if the Prada highlighter had a baby and that baby was a bronzer, it would be this bronzer. This is the most natural looking bronzer I have ever used. I know it's dramatic to say, but my first impression after trying this bronzer on is this is my favorite bronzer of all time. I know that sounds dramatic because I just used it for the first time, but I almost gasped when I applied it. And then when I went in natural light and looked at how this looked on my face, it is completely undetectable. completely undetectable. Like even in the hairline area where I find that it can be a little bit difficult for me to blend it out, especially because sometimes I have like little dry, flaky areas up here. It is so natural looking, so undetectable. And the way it has that beautiful glow to it, it really is a lit from within bronzer. I'm gonna go ahead and insert some footage right now of this bronzer compared to a bunch of other luxury bronzers and also mid-range and just popular bronzers in general. And I really hope the footage does really showcase how unique this particular formula is, because it is glowy, but it is not shimmery. The bronzer that I thought maybe would be similar to is RMS, but the RMS ones are more shimmery. And I don't say that as a knock. I love, love, love the RMS bronzers, but there's just something about this FARA formula where it really looks lit from within. Based on the description of this bronzer and the way it feels, I think it may be similar to the Westman Atelier bronzer that was also mentioned to be by a couple of other people. But unfortunately, that is the one Westman Atelier product that I don't own. So I cannot compare those. So I did want to get that out of the way. But I did compare this to a bunch of other bronzers, including the Dolce&Gabbana, the Gucci, RMS. I also compared it to Hoola Lite by Benefit. I also compared it to the YSL bronzer. I compared it to Makeup by Mario, KOSAS, Victoria Beckham, Hoola Lite by Benefit, as well as HAUS Labs Light Level 2. Of all of those bronzers, none of them were similar to this formula, as well as the sheen and kind of almost that sheerness of the bronzer, except for the HAUS Labs one. I'm actually going to look up if they even make this bronzer anymore. They've been doing like weird stuff with their cheek products where I feel like they're discontinuing them and then relaunching them in smaller packaging to rip us off more. But let me refer to the Sephora app. Okay, good news. It looks like they did relaunch them. So they are available, but the names have changed. So they're no longer like light level 1, 2, etc. So I'm not quite sure what light level 2 is equivalent to, but these are available for purchase. As I was rambling on about, the HAUS Labs bronzer is the bronzer within my collection that is closest to the FARA HOMIDI as far as shade as well as formula. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of an idea right now. As I'm pressing into the HAUS Labs one, it does feel very similar to the FARA HOMIDI. And I'm going to go ahead and do a swatch here on the palm of my hand, because that's a good way for me to actually show you sheen. So that is light level 2 from HAUS Labs. Now we're gonna go into FARA HOMIDI, which actually feels a little bit drier. And I don't mean that negatively, but it's more powdery feeling than the HAUS Labs one. And so we are going to apply that here. So you can tell that the FARA HOMIDI one is way, way more cool toned than the HAUS Labs one. But they both have a little bit of a sheen to them and are not completely matte, but are not shimmery. They just have a really nice sheen. As far as pigmentation levels go, I actually think the FARA HOMIDI one is slightly less pigmented than the HAUS Labs one, but in a good way. I don't like an overly pigmented bronzer because it is so easy to overdo it with bronzer. So I do like one that is more buildable and allows you to build up to the level of bronze that you want. I just realized it would be really wise if I also compare the bronzer to the Jones Road bronzer in, what is the shade? Dusty Rose, because this is a cool toned pink leaning bronzer. Now the finish is going to be very different. It is going to be matte. There's not really any sheen to it. But let's do a comparison of the tones and undertone. So here is the Jones Road bronzer. And here is the FARA Homidie Bronzer. So they're definitely different, but within that same pinky bronzer family. I will be shocked if another bronzer release from the year is able to top this one. We do have the Guerlain, I believe, bronzers coming out at some point this year, or is it Givenchy? There is another luxury bronzer that's coming soon, so we'll see how it compares, but I think it's going to be very difficult to knock this one out of first place. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this video was helpful and you do decide to pick this up, would love if you consider shopping through my affiliate links down below. Would also love if you follow me on Instagram and subscribe to me. I am a very small channel and it does really help support me. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you decide to return to my channel.